Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Awesome Dynamics Show. Terry Levin, the Director of Sales here, and I want to introduce you quickly. I have Paul, our owner, on the phone on with us. I guess he's not on the phone. And I have Robin, and I have Blake, our SEO experts, among other things. And we want to get right into our topic of the day today. So hello to everybody. And Robin, you're going to tell us a little bit about how to break the SEO rules and when to break them, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. So real quick, before we jump on that, we want to make sure that you are able to interact with us. So you can go to our website. If you're on Google Hangouts, you can chat with us and present your questions. We'll keep an eye on those as we go forward. Also, Terry at awesomedynamic.com. If you find it more convenient to shoot an email, we can address them as well. So back to Robin and when to break the SEO rules.
All right. So today we're going to talk about straying away from traditional SEO, but also staying within the best practices. So basically what you're going to gain today is which rules that are okay to break, what exactly is the difference between best practices and white hat SEO, black hat SEO, and why you would actually break these rules, the reasons behind that, and then some tips and tricks of specific rules that you can break on your website.
You guys have any trouble telling us this stuff, or are we okay?
Terry, we're getting a little robot Terry here. You might want to disconnect and reconnect because we're having a hard time hearing you.
I'll say right now, better.
Nope, still got a little choppiness there.
Alrighty, bye.
All right, so let's start off with the differences between white hat, black hat, gray hat SEO. So basically, white hat SEO is the best practices. It's what matches Google's guidelines and search engine guidelines. So basically, all the good stuff that you can do for your website. But in saying that, every website is eligible to do these great things for your website, and everyone's kind of using the same methods. So black hat SEO is kind of like the shortcuts. But with using those shortcuts, you could get major penalties on your site and get blacklisted off of Google. So we definitely don't do any black hat SEO methods here at Awesome Dynamic. So we definitely stick to the white hat methods, like 99% of the time. Then there's gray hat SEO methods. Those are kind of like they might not be proven. They might not exactly align with the best practices, but they might be very effective in getting your website ranked. So these are gray hats kind of on the border. So best practices summaries. Basically, the best practices are what you want to use for your website. Many SEOs agree. And SEOs is just stands for search engine optimization. So a lot of the SEOs in the industry will agree on these best practices. Then they've tested them over the years. They follow the guidelines of the search engines. A great resource is to go to Google. Just read the Google guidelines. It tells you exactly what's good for your website and what's bad for your website. And if
Robin, I wanted to just jump in for a sec. First of all,
sure.
Am I sounding better?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. All right. So can you give us just maybe a couple quick examples of black hat SEO things that people shouldn't be doing, and just so we can have an idea?
Sure. One that I see a lot of the time that worked maybe 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, but definitely will get you blacklisted off of Google today, is keyword stuffing. So that's putting keywords all around your website, maybe putting too many of the same keyword on your website for how many words you have on the page. It could also just be simply listing on the bottom of your page all of the keywords you want to rank for. It could be having tons of keywords in the back end of your website, but they're not showing up on the front end.
Robin, I just sent you an example. It was a website I actually reviewed this morning. If you go to the practice areas, I think estate planning, and see there's a white area to the left of that house, or to the right of the house there, the house picture.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't highlight the see there's text there?
Yeah.
That's a black hat technique.
Yeah, so this
Wow.
is called blanketing, or there's a lot of different words for this, that you just kind of cloak your words here, and so that humans can't see it, but search engines can, and you just match the text into the background. That is definitely a black hat technique, because you're just putting keywords, stuffing them on the page. And it's very obvious to Google that you're doing that.
I accidentally stumbled upon that because I did a Control F, so just do a Control F for estate planning. And I was like, what is all that over there? And then they start highlighting. It's like, wow. And like,
Yeah.
that's not good. I said, you gotta
Sometimes
get rid
it's
of that.
called like cloaking. Yeah.
Right.
I always think of Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak here.
And the Blake was just commenting to me through the chat that he's never seen that before. That used to be a very popular technique years ago. And usually it was done at the bottom of the website. So if you ever saw like a giant blank space at the bottom of the website, that's usually where that was done. So I don't think I've seen it recently at all. But and then I all of a sudden see it on the right side. I'm like, well, I haven't seen that in years. But that was a very interesting example that I thought was relevant to what you're covering, Robin.
Wow.
Oh,
So when
yeah.
you talk about being blacklisted, I mean, are they literally taking you out, taking you out of the search results completely?
Yeah, you're off of the search results, or they'll put you way down, like on page 50.
Well, which is the same thing for all practical purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And you can actually recover from those penalties if you fix the site and submit to Google that you fixed it. So, and that's a good point. How do you know if you get blacklisted? A couple different ways. You can go to definitely log in a Google Search Console, which is this tool here. Google Search Console will let you know if your website isn't following the best practices. Page Speed Insights is another one here that we'll go over later in this webinar. And also just looking at your rankings. And if you just tanked in your rankings recently for no reason at all, it's usually because you have a penalty. All right. So, yeah, we want to definitely follow these best practices. And the way that we figure these out are just looking at the guidelines. These can change over time, though. So something that works today might not work tomorrow, because Google is constantly changing. All right. So breaking SEO rules. There's tons of ways that you can actually break the rules. And the rules are just kind of like guidelines. If you're going to have there's all of these articles out there, all these webinars, all of these SEOs saying, no, this is the best way to rank on Google. No, this is the best way. And they all have their own list of how to rank on Google. And they all say, this is the most important, or this is the most important. So just keep that in mind when you hire an SEO company, that they're all going to have a different method. But in general, they're going to follow this. You need Google My Business, you need some social media, you need a lot of reviews online, you need your website to be fixed, lots of content, backlinks, and citations. So every SEO is going to have some form of this. But the importance on each one of these is going to be different, and the details behind it's going to be different. So if you are looking at, you're probably, if you hired an SEO company, you probably realize that you have a problem with your website, you want to promote it, and they're going to tell you how to do that. If you disagree at all during the whole time, just know that that's okay. So if you want to prioritize, let's say, one page on your website, or if you really want to rank for one keyword, just let them know that, and then they can adjust to that. So what are some reasons why you want to break the SEO rules? A lot of times we'll have time constraints here. That one is because someone wants to rank for a certain keyword in a certain amount of time. Sometimes that can be not possible because of the competition on that keyword, but there could be some ways around it. So if you call an SEO company and say, I want to rank for this word next month, well, you either need like $100,000, or you need to have time. So basically, to rank for a certain keyword in a month, it might be impossible. If you want to rank for diamond ring in 3 days, that's going to be impossible. If you want to rank for diamond ring in 3 years, it might be impossible because the competition is so high on that keyword.
And Robin, would it really be safe to say that, I mean, any SEO company that's going to promise you any kind of specific ranking improvement in a specific time frame, there's probably an issue there because there's so many variables. I mean, all these things can be done. Any of them can be done with enough time / money. But to say we can rank you for blank and you'll be ranked first within X amount of days isn't really a realistic approach.
Right. Companies that give you promises and guarantees like that are usually finding a tricky way of doing that. For example, I know, Paul, you're saying that like, what is it, Yelp does that, or Yext, when they guarantee you first page results.
Oh yeah, Yelp does that. So they'll say, we guarantee you first page results, and what they do is, let's say you're a lawyer, and you're looking, Yelp calls you and say, hey, we're going to get you on the first page of Google. Well, they're not going to get your website on the first page of Google. They're going to get a page on the Yelp website on the first page of Google for, let's say, lawyer in Wakanda, Illinois. And on that page is going to be all your lawyer competitors. And depending on how much you pay versus the other people that are paying to Yelp will determine how high you are up on that Yelp page. But your website itself won't be higher up in the search engine. It's going to be this Yelp page where then if someone clicked on it, you're there with a whole bunch of competitors, and who knows where you are in that list. They're just saying, yeah, you'll be on the first page on our list that's on the first page of Google. That's what they're really saying, but they're kind of skipping all those steps when they say.
And if you stop paying them a week from tomorrow, then what happens?
I think you just disappear.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah. So, but another example of time constraint could be you have an event that's coming up in 6 months, and you want to rank for some keywords, and you want to get some more people at your event, or if you need volunteers for like a 5K run. Those might be some examples of time constraints where you would skip the normal steps of how we would start your SEO program and then just go for those specific goals that you have in mind. But overall, you want to leave at least 6 months for an SEO program to start seeing long-term effects. So basically, if you're trying to rush the SEO, it won't work as effectively as if you had a more long-term plan. So if you're planning on having an event in 4 months, it's good to start your SEO a year ahead of time. So it's really more of a long-term goal. If you want to rank for those shorter keywords, you're either going to have to pick words with lower traffic and lower competition, or you're going to have to, do a combination of AdWords and get that started right away in combination with SEO. So SEO is definitely your long-term plan. All right, so that might be one reason to break SEO rules is time. Second reason would be your ROI measurement, so your return on your investment. So fixing all the little SEO technical issues, you might not see your immediate investment, but over time you're going to see this. Like, for example, we could be building links and putting out press releases and articles and things like that. But what you're going to see is that over time, that's going to grow and it's going to multiply. So if you're doing all these blogs, you're doing press releases, you're improving your pages, you're ranking for keywords, you're getting reviews, you might not see a lot at the beginning, but over a year's time, you're going to see those articles keep popping up. People are going to keep linking to them. They're going to have a tremendous effect over a lot of time versus just doing AdWords and then having it go away. You're not going to see any more effect from there. So what you pay for now, you're going to see the effect in the future. So then another one would be your varying SEO goals. So it depends on what your goal is. Is your goal to get to the top of Google? That's one goal. Is your goal to get to more customers? That's another goal. Third goal would be you want 10,000 likes on Facebook within this year. Another goal could be you want volunteers for a specific event. So people have all different kind of SEO goals, so let your SEO company know what your goal is before you start. Most people's goal is they want to make more money, but that's not everyone's goal. So definitely let your SEO person know what your goal is, because they'll probably just assume that you want to get higher on Google is your goal, or you want to have more money versus more customers. So your goal could vary, and if they don't know your goal, then they're not going to be able to get you there if they don't know what you want. So definitely vocalize that. And then lastly, what's another reason why you'd want to break these SEO rules? If you're prioritizing other SEO goals. So you can definitely ask to prioritize what goals that you want. But yeah, you just have to make sure that you have you know something in mind when you start your SEO plan. And most people do. They're like, oh, I want my social media to be great, or you know, I want my contact form to be filled out more often, or I want to track what pages are doing the best and what I can improve. So lots of different reasons to break the traditional SEO rules.
Well, Robin, you guys usually when we start with a new client, we have some just general conversation about these goals and about what they have in mind. So we mash together, and then we typically put together some kind of a roadmap of or a plan of how we want to go ahead and attack that goal. And that should be, I mean, some form of that should be part of any program. And there's no way to really jump in and start getting this done if there's not a coming together of the SEO experts and the client on what they're exactly looking to accomplish and how we're going to get there.
Yeah, that's really the difference of a cookie cutter SEO plan and a more consulting style SEO plan. If they're not asking you those questions like, what are your best selling services on your website? How can we rearrange your site and prioritize what to make you the most money or to get you the most customers? So questions like that, if they're just going straight into okay, we need to do A, B, and C, and every one of their clients does the exact same thing, it's really not customized to you.
Right. And, I'm always consistently trying to figure out how to describe and explain these things to what I call our laymen, like myself, who are not experts necessarily, but, trying to put it into context that they'll understand. And as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking that this whole SEO plan, I'm equating it now to like a high-rise building. This is my new thought as we speak here. So a lot of the work that's done initially would be what we would talk about as a foundation. So you might not see results right away, but things are being built up to get things going. All of a sudden, this building pops out of the ground. We start to see the results we're looking for. We start to get where we want to be. So I think that's might be my new analogy. What do you guys think?
And the property value will go up over time.
There you go. I like that too. All right. So now we're talking about different 7 ways to break these rules and guidelines.
Yeah, so now that you have the background on what's white hat, what's black hat, and why you would even consider breaking these rules for your website, here's the specific things you can do today. So one is varying your metadata lengths. So what the heck is metadata? Let's say car dealership. You wanted to find a car or something. So this is metadata. It's basically your title and your description. So metadata is just a fancy word for these Google search results. So you can see that they're all varying. And so how do you probably don't think about this on a daily basis, but I think about this all the time. What makes me click on one of these versus clicking on another? And you can see that some of these are cut off here. So these are way too long, but some of these are really short. Like this one's pretty short. So there's a recommended length, which is like 130 characters to 160 characters for the description. But you can break that. And for the title, it's supposed to be somewhere between 40 characters and 60 characters. But you can go less or you can go more. And so that's one thing that you can do to break the SEO rules. Sometimes when you have a really short one and every single one of the results that you want to rank for on that keyword is long, your short one's going to stand out. So at the same time, if you have all of these that have really, really short ones and then you write a really nice description and you see that on that result you can fit up to 70 characters, then you can break out of that rule of the 55 to 60 characters for the maximum length. And if it's not getting cut off on Google, and then you'll have the best description out there if it's, high quality description. So you don't have to necessarily always follow, hey, this needs to be between 40 and 55 characters exactly. Okay, so reorganizing your navigation. This is something that Awesome Dynamic does actually. So most websites will have, about us, contact us. It'll have the homepage here, and it will have, the blog here. So it'll have an entire menu that's people are very used to. But are you making any money off of your About Us page, or are you making money off of your services? So we decided at Awesome Dynamic, why don't we put our services that you can actually buy right front and center here. So we have 4 on our navigation, and then these that are more secondary, we're not making technically any money off the blog or the contact page. So these, and we have free webinars. So these are more secondary over here. And I don't know, Paul, if you wanted to comment on this specifically.
Sure. So the 4 buckets that I want them to go into, or essentially 3 buckets that I want someone to go into, are those main services that are across the middle of the navigation there. You'll notice that the slideshow right underneath, Google Street View, Amazon Consulting and Distribution, Search Engine Optimization, and Responsive Web Design, if you were to click on any of those slides, those will bring you to those same 4 places. Then if you go lower underneath, it's all about getting targeted customers. Again, I'm reiterating the 3 main services that I want people to get to, which are the Responsive Web Design, SEO services, and Amazon Seller Consulting. Those are where I want people to go because those are the different services that I sell. A lot of times we see, like you said, Robin, the home, the About Us, the services with a drop down, and all the services are in there. And then we have other things like the blog and the contact us, all in the main navigation. Well, all those things are, maybe secondary things that people want to see, but they're not the main things that you want them to get to, which will result in a sale. So that's why we have these as our main items that are going across the page. And this is a very good strategy to try and get people to those places.
Yeah, and we've got our About Us all on our homepage here.
Right. So you can learn about our staff, see the little message from me, and all sorts of other stuff that's on there.
Yep. All right.
So while we're on this page real quick, oops.
Good segue, Terry.
I normally jump in on, and Paul, you probably did most of that work for me already, but wanted to make sure that everyone who came on today was aware of what we do and how we do it. So again, we are focused on getting you new targeted customers, and we're doing that with responsive websites. We're doing that with search engine optimization, which we're talking about today. We also do that with our Google virtual tours, and we are also Amazon seller consultants and can help people get on Amazon with their products or improve dramatically their sales on Amazon if they're already on there. So those are the things we do. Here you see our awesome list if you want to subscribe and be kept up to date on everything that we have going on. We also have, you saw our webinars are always available on here, the blogs, and the little picture of our staff. And also a place if you enjoy what we presented for you today to review us. And we always appreciate us getting a nice 5-star Google review from anybody who does appreciate what we've done for you and what we talked about today. So I think that was a quick rundown on that. Any questions popping in on anywhere that we might need to address while we're at it?
No questions yet.
All right, then we can jump right back in, Robin.
Sure. The next is visuals and text length. So I get this from a lot of photographers or people that have sites that have portfolios or galleries for homes or things like that. So they're always like, well, we don't want this minimum requirement of Google requires 300 to 600 words. That's about the guideline for having that page rank on Google. So if your service pages and your blogs don't have 300 to 600 words minimum, and if your competitors have more, if you don't have more words than they do, then you're not going to rank for that page online. So a lot of times I'll get some pushback from people that have more visual sites, and they're always like, well, I want it to be really, just pictures. I don't want any text. But in reality, if you want that page to rank and you want people to buy your services and find you online, you're going to have to add that text in. So better ways to add that text in is to write some captions for each picture, or you can, add on top of the pictures just a small caption that's readable text. Or you can put headers and small text, and maybe break up the pictures into different sections. Like these are all home pictures and write 100 words on home, and then these are all, backdoor pictures. These are all kitchen pictures, and then write 100 words on kitchens. So you can definitely integrate the text into the pictures, but Google isn't quite there yet, reading the actual pictures as a human would, but they can definitely read the text. So that's one thing that you want to have with your visuals. And then social media. So this mouse pie chart that I showed you earlier shows that 5% of your online marketing time for marketing your website should be spent on social media. And then the other 95% should be spent on these other items. There is exceptions to that. If your brand is really online with social media and specific sites, and you're getting a ton of referrals, or you're getting most of your traffic from there, I mean, go ahead and look in your Google Analytics. How many people are visiting you from Google, and how many people are visiting you from Facebook? Chances are 95% of your traffic is from Google or direct from your email list or something like that, and probably 5% or less is from Facebook. But if you see that most of your traffic's coming from Facebook, let's say you have 25% of your traffic's coming from Facebook, well, then you want to definitely spend 25% of your time on Facebook. So that's definitely one reason you would break the rules, is that this is working for you. Very few brands will have social media work for you. You have to put a ton of time and a ton of effort, and you have to really understand your social media client in order for this to work for you and get a huge return on your investment. So in terms of social media, it's how much time you're putting into it. Whether you're doing it as the business owner or you hired someone to do your social media, make sure that whatever you're paying your social media team, including if it's yourself, that you're getting that return in your website traffic, and it's increasing over time. So don't just throw out Facebook posts and funny pictures and things like that. Make sure you're measuring everything from social media. How many likes did you get? How many people actually clicked on from Facebook to your website? Is that increasing over months? So
when they got to the website, did they spend more than a couple seconds? Did they visit more than one page? Did they actually get to your contact page? When people are calling you and submitting the form, did they say to you, yeah, I found you on Facebook? Or are they saying they found you on Google? So, yeah, measure, like Robin said, measure exactly what's happening, and this way you know if it's worth your time.
I think this is one of the biggest issues we run into out in our networking groups and locally, is just so many business owners spending, I think, in our opinion, too much time for their return on social media. We're consistently talking to them about this pie chart. And, not saying that you shouldn't have a presence on the social media, but use it for what it's worth, and then spend that time doing some of the other things we always talk about, cleaning up your name, address, phone number issues, and just getting reviews and doing some of those things, which will have a much bigger push in the overall SEO picture. And that, I think, is one of the hardest messages to get across a lot of the smaller local business owners, because they keep hearing about social media, and that's where they want to dive in.
Yeah, and think about what you're doing on social media. You're basically creating content for a website that's not yours. What if you took that time and spent it creating content and blogs and refreshing your pages on your own website? That's going to help you a lot more on Google.
Absolutely.
All right. So adding new snippets. Let's say you don't have that much time to blog. You can only blog once a month, which is what I recommend is the minimum. Go ahead and add in a news section, because chances are if you don't have time to blog, it means you're out at networking events, you're out working on your business, you're out in town. So just take a quick picture anytime you're at one of those places, and on your phone, you can actually, if you have WordPress or if you have Wix or Squarespace or any of those websites, you can actually have the app on your phone, and take a quick picture, right? A half a sentence, and then you'll have an entire news section within a month of all of the places you've been and how it relates to your business, or just things you find interesting. So whatever the culture of your business is, you can just have a news section. Then you'll have fresh content on your site, and with very little effort. So a news section is definitely great for very busy people who can only blog once a month. All right. Then another thing you can do in order to break these SEO rules, and this one's pretty controversial. I'm sure Paul will find this very controversial. So we always recommend doing pretty permalinks, which means, what's a permalink? It's that URL, whatever you type in the address bar up here. A lot of times you'll see numbers or weird letters, question marks, equal signs up in this bar here. You can see that I purposely did a pretty permalink. It says when to break SEO rules, which matches the title of this blog. But let's say you have a site and it's working, and you do keyword research, and then the keyword doesn't quite match the URL. Well, if you have a ton of traffic to that URL and it's not broken, then some SEOs say, why even fix it? Because what's going to happen, you might be creating way too many 301 redirects. And if you have too many on your site, that can actually penalize you in the long run, or you might temporarily lose a little bit of gain on search engines. So you can do it over time, or just pick the most important services and most important pages and your biggest hitting blogs with the most traffic, and you can redo those permalinks with the keywords. But if you have 200 pages on your site, do you have to do all of the 301 redirects and rename all of these? So a 301 redirect is just like a mail forwarding. So you have this old permalink, and then you change it to a new one. So you have to forward your address basically, so that you don't get an error. Have you ever visited a site and you get an error on that site? That's because they didn't correctly forward you to the right page. So if you do too many forwards on your website, that could happen. You might get a small penalty, or something might happen with your site. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, it's that 404 not found that comes up, and Google doesn't like when those come up. But I got a Chuck Norris joke for you. Chuck Norris found that page, even though the rest of us haven't.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Anyway, but yeah, the permalinks are important. The domain, having the keyword in the domain isn't really a factor anymore, but having it in the
like a small
rest
factor.
of it, the rest of it in the actual link after the .com or .org or whatever, that's where the keyword really needs to be. So this way it indicates to Google that this particular page is about that, and that needs to kind of jive with everything else that's on the page.
All right. So the last one here is keywords versus experience. So why would you have your competitors, when you're a business owner and you're Googling yourself, you're always wondering, why is this guy ahead of me? I have all of these SEO things in my blog. I have the keyword on my website more times than them. Why are they always ranking on top of me? So it could be tons of stuff. It could be because even though you have all that stuff, maybe your website is small to read on the phone. It could be that you don't have the experience, the overall user experience. Let's say you have one picture on the site, but your competitor has a ton of pictures. Or you have, let's say you both have 5 pictures, but his pictures, the content is better. Or if you don't have videos, and if you have huge blocks of text going across the page, and your competitor has more of a magazine layout. So it's not really just about doing the technical SEO stuff, it's also about the user experience and how it looks. So one of the big ranking factors is how long people are spending on your site. So if people are not spending a lot of time on your site, well, first off, you have to go in Google Analytics and make sure that people are spending a lot of time on your site. So if you're looking at your business and saying, wow, I have no idea how much time, how many seconds people are spending on my website, that means you should. That's definitely something you should be aware of. It's like asking a small business person, so what does your balance sheet look like right now? And if you say, I have no idea how much money I made last year and if I'm in the red or black, now you look like you're not very knowledgeable about your business and you have no idea what's going on. Same thing with your website. If someone asks you, well, what's your average page time on your site, or how many people visit your site every month? What's your traffic? These are all super basic questions that you should know about your business. Or what's the average amount of pages people visit when they go on your site? Do they click to 2 pages? Do they click to 3 pages? If you don't know that, all you have to do is log into analytics and look at the first page of analytics without even clicking around, and just log into that. Probably, if I was a small business owner, I would log into that a minimum of once a month. I'd probably look at it every week and just say, okay, great, my average page time's up, or this page is down, this is what I need to improve, and these are all the stats that I need to make it into a better experience for my customers. And over time, you're going to get a lot more customers from online. And you're going to also move up in the Google search results and get above those guys that have been above you for years. But it does take a lot of work, so definitely have to commit a lot of time to the website, or if you don't have the time, then hire someone.
That's right. Or
Like
you could have
us.
Yeah, exactly. Either to do it for you or to train somebody on your staff. So we do both. All right, Robin. Well, thank you for putting this blog article together and running through that for us. Really appreciate that. What do we have coming up next week?
Next week, we have...
I put you on the spot there. While you're looking it up, let me jump over to something else. We have a...
Black Hat SEO.
Okay, so you get into some of the details in the Black Hat SEO, right?
Right.
Okay, fantastic. So we have 2 other things that we are talking about doing. One of them is a review of some of a particular Amazon product, and I think we're going to defer to doing that because that's something that that came to the docket for our webinar schedule over the website review that we had talked about prior to the webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that. And Blake, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. All right. So Terry, this is Fit in Fresh, is that right?
Correct.
All right, and this is a company that we have identified that has a whole bunch of different product all over Amazon. And we wanted to kind of review what's going on with their product and some improvements that they might be able to make. So I took a look at several of these different products. So when I just put in Fit and Fresh in here, I see a lot of their different products here. And they even have their own page with a whole bunch of different products, which I know you guys sent over to me prior. I'll go ahead and pull that up. This is their brand page with all the different products that they have. But taking a look at some very specifics, I wanted to give you some different commentary on things that could be improved here. So first off, I really like how we have the different selection of the different products as I go through here. But I'm always criticizing the photos on different products because there's a lot that could be improved to give the person who's looking at the products a much better experience in terms of what they're looking at on the screen, because they don't have the opportunity to go into the store and pick up the product and touch and feel it. You really need to give them as many different angles as you can and make the photos as clean as possible, so this way that experience is at the highest degree possible through the photography. And to that end, we can see that this particular product only has 3 pictures here, right? And there could be between 7 and 9 pictures on this, and we're seeing that there's only 3. So there could be a lot more here. And right now I can see the front of this with the containers inside. I can see it zipped up with the bottle on the left side, and I see the containers by themselves. But I don't see what the bottom of this bag looks like. I don't see what the back of it looks like. Are there more zippers back there? I'm just not getting the level of detail that I want in terms of what does this bag look like? Or show me a picture of the bag without any of these items in here. I also noticed it looks like there's a freezer pack in there, and I can't see how big that is because it's in between those different containers in there. So there's a lot of elements of this particular container that I don't know how they work or how they relate to each other, and I really can't see the inside of this bag or the back of the bag. And even this little thing that's in the front mesh pouch here, I don't know what that is. It's not clear, so I can't tell if there's anything inside of it. So through the pictures, we really want to show as much as we can about the product. I also notice as I hover over these, this first one is really a phenomenal picture. I can zoom in and look at the different elements that are in the picture. But as I look at this picture and this picture, notice that the background doesn't blend directly into the white here. See the white right here, and it's like an off-white here? That's because they didn't cut the background out. In fact, you see the shadow right over here. If you look at where my mouse is, you see the shadow over here. If you look at this picture, you see that the white just blends right into the background of the website. It's because they cut this picture out professionally. And you'll see through a lot of the other products that we're looking at, even their main picture is some of these other ones. I'll take a look at this one. This one's white. I think I saw, there's one. Here's their gray or gray version of this. You can see they didn't cut out the background on this one. Cutting out that background really gives you a high-end, polished, professional feel, and I'm not getting that from some of these different pictures that they've posted for these products. So that needs to go, someone needs to go through and really outline all these different products, so this way they have this nice white background that gives it that pro feel. So that's one big factor that could be resolved here. Another thing that I noticed is a lot of their bullet points that I see here aren't really compelling me to buy. They're very, very factual. And yes, you do want to deliver the facts about the products in the bullet points here, but I'm not seeing anything in regard to why I should buy it. When I come down here to the description, they spend a little bit more time trying to compel me to buy. It has all the essentials to fuel your day. So yeah, this little snippet right here, it's more compelling. Breaks up poultry powders, mixes Ajax together. The aggregator is heavy, so this looks like easily slips into the mesh pocket of the bag. So these types of descriptors, let's see, vitamin pack, pill container. They said that must be a pill container. I was wondering what that was. So those types of things should be put into the bullet points up here so I can really understand why I should buy it. Because right now you're just giving me facts, which doesn't really compel me to want to buy it. I don't understand why I should buy it. You're just giving me factual information about the product. I'm going to take a look at a couple of other things here. This one's well rated. There was another version that I noticed that another product that had some problems. Okay, this product right here, this one, see how many pictures they have here? This is excellent. They even have this picture that kind of gives you an idea what the size of this product is. This one actually has what we call the blue tag of death as an add-on item, and usually that's because of the price of the item. If you have anything that's under $15, they can put what's called the blue tag of death on there. What that really means is if I want to buy this as an Amazon shopper, it's an add-on item, meaning I need to buy something else, whether I'm a Prime customer or even not a Prime customer. If I want that free shipping, I have to buy some other stuff to be able to get this shipped to me. So having this price point adds this blue, what we call the blue tag of death here. So you might want to play with the price point a little bit to see if you can get that to go away, which will allow you to get your product out to more people without forcing them to have to buy something else. Taking a look at the photography, we can see that there's a lot more time spent on it. But the one thing that frustrates me with this one is I can see it comes in some sort of packaging here, and if I'm buying this as a box or a gift for somebody, I want to know what those words say up on the top there, and I cannot see that in this picture. I want to see what the back of this box looks like. If I'm giving this away as a gift, I want to know what that gift is going to look like when I get it delivered to me from Amazon. So again, I'm not getting all the things that I want here. You can see these bullet points are a little bit more detailed than that other product we were taking a look at there, which I think is better.
You know, we're not seeing any lifestyle type pictures on any of
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that in a moment. So here's one that's kind of lifestyle, but I'm going to get into more of the lifestyle stuff in a second, Terry, but that's a great point. So see this main picture here for this particular product? It just shows me blueberries, pretzels, something that looks like wheat thins and strawberries. And right here from this picture, although it's a beautifully staged picture, and this fruit and this food in here just looks absolutely delicious. The picture's outlined. Here's another picture that shows Beautiful food inside these dishes. This just looks phenomenal. But I'm wondering to myself as I'm looking at these, why would I buy these over any other kind of container? And that's where this picture really demonstrates why these containers are special. And I don't even get that information in the title of this product. It's because they come with the ice packs that should probably be the first thing that comes up here. In fact, I believe some of their other products they make the main feature photo. I couldn't find one right away here, but some of the other main products that they have, the first photo does show the stuff in here, and I would even show that in this photo, but and then have the food in there and stuff too. Or even like Terry said, enhance the lifestyle photo to include a nice granite countertop with a travertine backsplash with a nice uh, nickel-plated faucet, stainless steel faucet in the background, kind of faded out with that depth of field. That could really put somebody in a position of, oh, I could see myself using these in my kitchen. So you could say, it really helps set the mood of, where am I actually setting up all this food? It's all happening in the kitchen. Or maybe you have a picture of kids smiling at a table in the lunchroom, opening their nice chilled food because those ice containers are in there, and they're smiling, so they're really happy that they got their food cold when they got to lunch at school that day. So there's different ways you can really position your pictures to deliver the feelings that you want them to feel, which is going to help compel them to want to use and buy the product.
So would it be too much if you wrote, like, because that was not obvious to me that there was an ice pack in there. What if you wrote in text, hey, there's an ice pack, or the ice pack here, or like have it like, when you open a freezer and all that chill frost comes out of the freezer. Is that something that's too obvious to write on pictures, or is there no way, is it bad to be too obvious that saying ice pack with an arrow pointing to it?
Well, yeah, you can do that. They don't really want you to put too much text into the pictures, but there's a lot that could be done to have this with the purple lid turned upside down, with the ice pack in it, and have that next to the strawberries. So you see how they have the lids right underneath? They could offset it a little bit to show the ice pack there. And then you could even have the mom preparing that in the kitchen, pulling one of the ice packs out of the freezer. And yeah, so you can kind of get the idea that, oh, okay, I see how this whole thing works, just visually, right?
So how do you get a video on one of these listings?
Well, that's a good question, Robin. The only way to get videos on your listings is to be a participant in the Vendor Central program with Amazon. But you can be a participant in the Vendor Central and also be in the Seller Central at the same time. And through the Vendor Central, add videos to some of your different products. And then in the Seller Central, be able to make the retail profit margin. But even with the videos, you have to pay Amazon. Well, first you have to make the video, and second, you have to pay Amazon for what's called A+ content to be able to add those videos to the page. But I propose, or I firmly believe that there's a lot more that could be done through the pictures, the main few pictures that give you that first 3 to 5 seconds of impression of what this product is about, through the pictures without even getting to the video. So yeah, I do see the video as a valuable thing to kind of demonstrate that product, but at the same time, there's a lot that could be done through really, really good photography, staging things, lifestyle photos, stuff like that, to really help people understand what this product's about, why is it special, what's the unique selling proposition, etc.
I thought users could post videos. Is that something that
they can, but they are not going to show on the main area right here. If they do show up, and I think it's category driven, they're going to be down here in the review area. So notice on this particular product, we have a person who's posted some pictures of how they use the product. So there's some cases where you'll see, depending on the category, the videos will show up in the customer area at the bottom, customer feedback. That's a good question, Robin. There is another particular item that I wanted to point out about the pictures and the description, and you're really taking what people say in the reviews to heart and fixing your descriptions based on how people are giving you feedback in your reviews. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the one. Let's see here. I'm sorry. Terry, any questions on this while I take a look for that other listing that I was trying to review before?
One thing I was wondering, what in the description of the product itself, in the title line, I mean, is that appropriate place to be mentioning, maybe the freezer components or the?
Yes, and in fact, that's one of the things that I wanted to point out with here's this 14-piece set. And I think this one has the variation of 14 to 17 piece. So mentioning stuff, so you see this one says ice packs in it. So this tells me, okay, and this is the picture I was looking for. I can see the ice packs in the main photo right away, but you notice that their subsequent photos don't have any food in the containers, right? But yes, putting that up there. But one of the main complaints on this, when I was looking at the reviews, is people are saying, well, I thought that all of them came with ice packs, but there was only 2 ice packs for all the containers that came with it. And they're complaining about the fact that, yeah, well, if I had known there were only 2 ice packs in there, I may have chosen not to buy it. So being really, really clear about what they're going to get in their package is so important. And even as I was looking through some of the different descriptions here, included 2-cup and 1-cup reusable ice packs, saying, hey, you get 6 containers and 2 ice packs total, and saying that in the main title, in the first bullet point, so it's really clear. I don't have to sit here and read all this to decipher exactly what I'm going to be getting. Make it super clear that you're only getting 2 ice packs. Maybe we get that feeling from the picture, but I don't know if this one underneath has an ice pack. But really saying this is exactly what you're getting, because as I was reading the 1-star reviews and people complaining, so a lot of those folks are saying that they don't like that they didn't know exactly what came with it. And usually, if you're from your perspective, you're putting this product out there, you're creating these bullet points, you're like, well, it says right in there if you read it. Well, don't assume that the average shopper is going to read and really decipher and analyze everything that you write here. Keep it as simple as possible. Make the information really easy to consume. So that's just...
Or also that you only need the 2 ice packs, and that'll be enough to make all 6 containers cold.
Yes, and especially if that's the case. So look at what happens when I click the 17. So they have the parent-child relationship, which is great. But when I come over here, I'm getting a picture, these pictures like this, which I didn't see on the other one. And to be quite honest, these pictures are quite terrible because they're really faded. So see how it's kind of blurry, it's faded, it doesn't look really clear and crisp. So these really need to be fixed up, and they look like they could be maybe the box that this thing comes in, but I don't know because it's a 2D picture. Looks like it's just cut out and uploaded, whereas if you had the angles of the box coming out here and I see, oh, this is how it comes, that would be much more valuable to me as a shopper than just taking a picture of the side, cropping it out, and even though it looks, the text looks crisp as I read it here, it just doesn't look really high-end professional photography. I just don't get that feeling from this. You can see the text is cut off at the bottom there. So there's some issues here with how this product is being presented.
So is that good to have one for kids and then one? You can have the same product not for kids with the packaging, but it's the same product?
That's technically, Amazon will say it's against the policy to have the same product and call it 2 different things, but we find that that's a very effective method to sell products, because you could say, this product is for bodybuilders, and then you can repackage the same product with different photography, different text, and really target maybe kids with the same product, and then maybe you'll target other folks with the same product. We find that happens all the time. In fact, we have a plastics manufacturer that rebranded one of their office product organizers as a makeup organizer and has had tremendous success. So basically, it used to hold sticky notes and pens, but now it holds makeup palettes and makeup brushes and nail polishes. And they're selling a ton of those under that different category specific for folks that are looking for makeup, and it works quite well for them. On the order of selling hundreds a week.
Yeah, and the same thing for crafting. I have the product, and when I look at the product and say, oh, it's for crafting, now I want to buy like 5 more,
Right, right. So really shaping the perception, and it's all about perceived value in how you present the product online, really can make a big difference on how people look at it and if it puts it in the right frame for them to buy. So there's a lot of opportunity to take the same product and put it in different contexts for people to think about it in different ways, and that can help you hit different target audiences that you might not have thought of before. One other thing that I want to bring up here, it looks like they're having a little issue with, which we notice with a lot of larger manufacturers, is you see that Amazon is selling this. This is most likely because they're in Vendor Central selling direct to Amazon. And we can see that there's a $15.99 price point, but then we have some other people selling on this product at different prices here.
Can you make
And
it a little
sometimes,
bigger?
This
what's
is
that?
exactly where I wanted to head. I'm glad you went there because this, I think, is a big issue for them overall.
Well, Terry, do you wanna head up that conversation? I got a better example right here.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things we run into all the time is this other people selling the product. So what you end up in is we talk about the race, as you see it right here, very well shown as the race to the bottom when it comes to pricing. So, there are definitely ways and techniques, Paul, you can, probably speak in more detail, but there's ways to make this go away and end up where you are the only one selling your product, and then you're able to get your full retail price you're looking for without, the competition of all these other people, which are more often than not people that you are selling wholesale to who are now coming and competing with you and driving down the retail price on these items.
Absolutely. And you know what's really interesting about this, Terry? Fit and Fresh themselves have their own seller account, and Amazon is also buying from them. So the strategy I would recommend is cut off everybody else that's on here, including Amazon, and just sell yourself. And this listing with all these reviews will, and all the people who will buy this product in the future will only buy from Fit and Fresh at the retail price, and all these other people who are selling this product won't be selling any.
So how
And
do you
you'll
cut
just
off
clean
everyone?
up. How
So
do you what?
if there's 100 of these being sold a week, I'm just making up numbers here, but if you're selling now 60 of them by using these techniques, you're going to sell all 100, and they're all going to be sold at your suggested retail price, as opposed to fighting our way down. You see some of these things down at 665, and they're all over the board. So,
So you just wait till everyone's out?
Well, there's a few techniques that you can use, Robin, and that's a great question. How do I cut them off? How do I get rid of these guys? Well, there's a lot of techniques. There's some legal options that are available to you. If you have an official manufactured advertised price policy, and in it you specifically say to your vendor or to the people that you sell to, your customers, hey, we're going to sell you this thing, this item. You can sell it on eBay. You can sell it on your own website. You can sell it in your brick and mortar store, but Amazon is off limits, and you're not allowed to sell there. And you issue this policy to everybody that you sell to. Then all of a sudden you established a situation where they have to comply with that policy, and once they're not complying with that policy, then you can begin to go through what's called the test buy process. Product or against your policy. Easiest ways to cut them off, Robin, is just stop selling to them. You just say to people, here's my new policy, and you can go through and really buy from a lot of these folks, and the return address is going to be on the stuff that you buy. In many cases, if they're not selling through Amazon Prime, you can identify which one of your customers is actually selling it, then pick up the phone and call them. Hey, you guys at Elite Goods, you're selling my product even though my policy says you're not allowed to. You keep doing this, you're going to get cut off. So those are the options that you have. And one thing that you could do, and we've seen this a lot with some folks, manufacturers that we deal with, they just immediately cut off all supply, and they just they sell to Walmart's not going to turn around and sell on Amazon, and there's a lot of other the Container Store isn't going to turn around and sell on Amazon, but a lot of these other places that are right here are turning around and selling your product on Amazon. So like Terry said, if there's 1,000 of these being sold a week, and through your seller account you're selling 15, and through your Amazon Vendor Central account you're selling 20, and the rest of them, let's say it's 50 and 50, the other 900 are being sold by all these guys, you can just get all that business just for yourself by cutting off all these other people. So that can hugely increase your bottom line. And we've done this for so many different businesses successfully, where you just eliminate the competition, and then you set the profit margin that you want to make, and you eliminate your competition. It's just such a beautiful thing. So, all right, Terry, what do you?
All right, is there anything else we want to sum up on here? Because we are pushing the clock a little bit.
I think that's it that I had here. So I think we could wrap it up now if you like.
All right, fantastic. Well, again, we appreciate you coming by to spend some time with us, and hopefully you learned a little something. If you did, feel free to go over to our website, awesomedynamics.com, and give us a 5-star Google review. We sure would appreciate it. Helps us grow our business. We want to help you grow yours as well. So remember, we do get you new targeted customers by working with you on your website, your SEO, your Google virtual tour, and we're also going to get you trying to use these techniques we just talked about on Amazon to increase dramatically your sales and your profit margin. So we want to make sure that we're available to you should you want to give us a try on any of those things. I want to mention quickly for our local people that we are doing our Get Your Business Online Google seminar next week in Vernon Hills on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Reach out to us for more information. Again, Terry at awesomedynamic.com as well. And we look forward to having you guys with us next week. Blake, thank you. Robin, great job. Paul, as always. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.